Hey, I'm Rich. Welcome to my motorcycle shop. Okay, so I told myself that this year, 2026, I was going to do at least one video every month. It is currently January 29th, and I do have 3 or 4 projects going on right now, but they're not really ready for a video, so I figured let's do a shop tour. I like watching shop tour videos. I'm nosy. I like seeing how people work. And this is the 10th year that I'll be in this space working on bikes. And there's a lot of stuff in here. So we'll take a look at some of the bikes. We'll take a look at some of the tools. We'll take a look at some of the knickknacks and detritus that I have in here. I'm on my lunch break. We'll make this one quick, okay? All right, let me start by saying I'm not a professional anything. I have done commission work for people in the past, but I mostly do this for my own pleasure. So don't be like calling OSHA on me for what you're about to see. If you do have questions, I will do my best to answer them. If you have suggestions, I guess I'm open to hearing them. But let's start the tour. Okay, so the space itself, pretty big shop. It's about 1,500 square feet or so. And it is built in an old 1930s era post office distribution center. So government building built in the Great Depression. So lots of really cool architectural details. Only motorcycle shop I'm aware of with wood parquet flooring. There is a post office that's still active downstairs, and it's absolutely beautiful, like marble and wood paneling, and something pretty special. Probably the defining feature of this space are these big windows. I'm in upstate New York, and as you can see, the winters here can be pretty dreary. So it's nice to have these windows here to let what little sunlight we do get in. It drives me a little nuts trying to work in a closed off space with no windows. Did that for many years before moving into this shop. Let's see. I've also got this, I don't know if you'll be able to see it with the brightness of the windows, but I've got this 48-star American flag. So before Alaska and Hawaii were states, I guess it would be kind of contemporaneous with this building. And below, 2 giant ass radiators, though only one of them is on right now. Having heat in a shop space is such a blessing, I guess. I spent a lot of years working in unheated garages and warehouse spaces, sitting in between 2 kerosene heaters, putting my hands out when they got too cold to work. Honestly, I'm in a sweatshirt and beanie right now. I'm a little warm. So the first thing that you see when you walk in is this lounge area. Some comfy seating, a beer fridge. This is a place where I can have friends over to chill out. I'll host events every so often because I think the best part of any hobby is the community. So, I try to keep the beer fridge stocked, let my friends know that they're always welcome to, come hang out. So this is I believe, 78 BMW R100/7 that we rebuilt in 2017. I was working as part of a moto collective at the time, so this wasn't a solo project. Anyway, I really love how this bike turned out. It's in the shop right now, getting the carburetors rebuilt. And I think the owner is probably going to sell it come springtime. But I really love this subframe and this cool exhaust. This is the stock headlight bucket that I cut a hole out of in the top and then welded and blended this ring to hold this gauge, this Moto gadget gauge. That was a ton of work, let me tell you. We call this one the Moon Buggy on account of the white paint and frame. And it includes this little reference to Robert Heinlein's "The Moon is a Harsh Mistress." This stands for "There ain't no such thing as a free lunch." I should probably warn you guys, most of the bikes in this shop are either going to be Hondas or BMW. I do have one Harley over here. I know you see like an American flag in a bike shop and you expect nothing but choppers, but you know, I'm kind of bike agnostic. I wouldn't kick a Triumph out of bed, I'll tell you. Yeah, anyway, cool project. I dig this one. Over here, this is the aforementioned beer fridge. It's like a 1960s era Westinghouse. I think it's 60s, who knows. Of course, we're obligated to cover it in tons of stickers and stuff. And then, you know, I just got like all these helmets and parts and stuff that I've collected over the years. Plenty of magazines and shop manuals and stuff, toys, whatever. And then if you turn around, this is what I call the Applebee's wall, just like posters and pictures and plaques and stuff that I've collected over the years. Anything that, you know, kind of speaks to me. This one's pretty cool. This is a photograph that I took that is in the Bike Exif calendar for, God, I don't even remember what year it was, but I'm super proud of that. The only photography training that I ever received was hanging out with the photo majors in college, since they threw the best parties. And then down here, this is actually the first bike that I ever owned. It's a 1970 Honda CL350, and yeah, I'll say it does not look very much like it did when I bought this thing. Now I'm going to get a little art kit on you. This bike is kind of styled Art Nouveau-esque, right? A lot of swoopy lines and organic shapes and stuff. The inspiration for this whole thing is just like the shape of this backbone here was kind of like almost like plant-like, right? And so this is a hand-hammered 10-gauge copper gas tank that my buddy Patrick made up for me. New Church Moto seat with some cool stitching. And you know, this swoopy handmade exhaust that I built for it. You know, oddly enough, this bike has actually never been featured on this channel. And this year, I really want to change that. I've got a couple things that I want to build, namely a fork brace and then a guard for this exhaust so that I won't burn my leg on it. So yeah, look forward to seeing this thing at some point this year. So this bike you might recognize. This is my CB750 Super Sport that I've been working on, though it's been like 8 months since I put a video out on it. I'm not going to go through every single bike in this shop. There's like 20 of them. You know, just kind of focus on some of the highlights. You guys might recognize this little CB125. I'm just buttoning up a couple electrical items on this thing, and then that's back out of the shop. So then this whole quarter of the shop is reserved for people other than myself to work on their projects. Like I said, community is the best part of this hobby, so it's nice to have other people in the shop, even if we're just like working in silence together. Here's a nice CB500 cafe bike. Up above it, we painted this when we first moved in. This is Mike the Bike Halewood on his 6-cylinder Honda race bike. If we whip around here, well, first off, we've got the channel. But this is like the fabrication area where all of the dirty work gets done. We've got some heavy duty tools. We've got some lighter duty tools. Just stuff that I've like collected over the decades. Honestly, I think I've got most everything you need to do basically anything on a custom bike beyond paint and upholstery, probably. I've got here a 1955 Bridgeport mill. This is a big upgrade, and I'm like definitely not knowledgeable enough to use this to its full potential, but it's nice to have. Along with that, this old South Bend 10K, I want to say, metal lathe. My neighbors are playing music. I don't know if you guys will be able to hear it. All right, I've got this porta-band on a table. Very handy to have if you don't have a lot of space or a lot of money, because metal cutting bandsaws are pretty expensive. Drill press, sandblast cabinet, a grinder. My air compressor is actually tucked in this closet here. It is ventilated up above, but I built this just to kind of hide the clutter, keep the noise down a little bit. Shop press, polishing wheels, frame jig. This thing's cool. I'll have to dig up some like archival footage of this, but this is a hydraulic tubing bender from C.T. Newman in Buffalo, New York. This thing is pretty sick. Again, I don't know enough about it to use it to its full potential, but it's great for handlebars and frame tubing and stuff. Yeah, that's one of those things that I'm hoping to use more frequently in the future. We'll see. Ooh, the sun came out. So finally, this corner of the shop is my area. You can see I've got some BMW carbs being pulled apart. I've got an exhaust for this CB750. I've got my 1965 Harley Sportster over here, along with a 1974 BMW R100 bobber. You know, far and away my most popular video is this guy right here, the like start to finish build video for this thing. It is also here for carb clean. This was a commission build, one of my favorites, I think. This bike is cool as hell. I pulled the crankshaft out of this thing, did a complete like nut and bolt refinish on it, and yeah, another really cool bike, I think. Of course, I'm patting myself on the back here, but one of my favorite details, the stitching on this seat, the BMW M Sport colors. Yeah, custom shocks, custom seat pan, custom frame, Moto Gadget all over the place. Renthal fat bars, which are required custom CNC machined handlebar clamps. I, you know, even went as far as to model those up in CAD and had them cut on a Haas CNC mill. And this is kind of like the polar opposite of that, right? This is like very kind of rough and handmade 65 Sportster with a lowbrow bolt-on hardtail. The next video you see of this thing is kind of finishing up all of the fab work that's associated with putting this hardtail on. So new exhaust, fitting the rear fender, building this sissy bar. Got my new taillight over here. So I'm excited to see this thing on the road, you know, whenever it decides to not be, you know, that. I've got a couple toolboxes here. This is where most of my hand tools are stored. All of the machining tools are in this guy. I mean, I'm not going to go through my hand tools. This AHP TIG welder has been an absolute powerhouse. I've used this for forever. It's a great budget option, seriously. And then just, you know, random storage that I've kind of pulled off the side of the road and shit over the years. Really love this like library card catalog where all of my bolts and stuff are stored. So if I was going to give some like parting advice to people looking to get into doing this like custom bike stuff, it would be that you do not need all this stuff to make it happen, right? If you want to do mechanical repair on bikes, some sockets, screwdrivers, and like this, you know, a multimeter for diagnosing electrical, that's like 90% of doing work on bikes. Likewise, if you want to get into fabrication, I mean, at that point, a welder is kind of a necessity, but TIG welders are like pretty easy to come by these days, and it's never a bad thing to like invest in yourself by taking a class, right? Beyond that, I think like an angle grinder and some hand files, you could do basically anything you want to on these things. Okay, so I want to end this video with, I mean, I've been kind of like struggling to make such a lighthearted video considering what has been going on in this country and in this city even. And I debated not putting this in, but I mean, I don't make these videos to make money, so fuck it. Plus, most of the chuds that would disagree with me probably checked out as soon as they saw all the Hondas. All through this video, I've been like harping on community and like how lucky I am to have all of this stuff in this space. And, you know, it's what I ask of you guys, the viewers, is to think about your own situation, your own communities, and how lucky and blessed you are to be able to watch a video like this. and to try to put yourself in the shoes of those that this absolutely like heinous government overreach have affected, and just, you know, like try to have a fucking shred of compassion for your fellow man. You know, do what you can. You know, don't put yourself in danger, but like, oh man, like I said, it's hard to just like pretend like everything is normal because it's not. Anyway, like I said, my name is Rich. Thanks for taking the shop tour. I'll be back in a few weeks, hopefully, with another video. Thanks for watching. Sorry to end on a low note like that, but yeah, I'll see you soon.